There's a professional women's fast-pitch softball team representing New York this summer. They are called the New York Rise, and the Rise, they're coming to the end of their regular season. They've got one more series to play before the playoffs. And joining me to talk about the Rise is a former Division I softball player at Fordham and color commentary voice for the Rise. Her name is Maria Trivelpiece. She joins me now. Maria, how's it going?
I'm very excited to be here, Dex. I can't wait to talk some softball.
Yeah, glad to talk some softball. And Maria, I'm going to get right into it with you because for those who may not know about professional women's fast-pitch softball, can you tell us about the journey of the New York Rise and how the team was formed? How did it all come about?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool story. So the CEO and owner, Jeff On, back in 2021 was actually watching the Women's College World Series with his daughter, and he was just watching the way that she was trying to imitate some of the players and how intrigued she was and just how good the competition was. And he started thinking, he was like, oh my goodness, there's nothing for these athletes to do once they graduate from school, right? So it kind of sparked a little thought in his head, and he was like, I want my daughter to have an opportunity to play at the highest level possible and to have female role models. And so that kind of sparked the idea, and it just got things going. And now here in 2024, we have the New York Rise in New York, which is so exciting. And yeah, just kind of paving the way for those young women and young girls just to have the opportunity to play post-college.
Yeah, absolutely paving the way, and that's a really lovely journey in terms of how the Rise came about, and now we're getting to see professional women's fast-pitch softball here in New York, so it's a really exciting time. And I know you're somebody who loves the sport, so how do you see the Rise impacting the popularity and the growth of professional fast-pitch softball on the women's side in New York and beyond?
Well, I think, when you hear the phrase, if you can see it, you can be it, it's getting a little overused, but it is so true. And so I think that when you get to actually see female professional athletes in front of you, these young girls and even young boys can imagine that this is something that they can aspire to. And I think just kind of looking at it from the New York lens, like I'm a kid that grew up in the Northeast. I'm from Pennsylvania. There was never anything like this. It was hard to even watch college games in person. And now you can watch professional softball in the Northeast. You can watch it in person. You can watch it on all the streaming networks. And I just think that accessibility is something that is just going to help the growth of the game. I mean, I've been there the last couple of days, and it is just so cool to see all of the young teams that show up and how excited they are, and just also how incredible the young women on the Rise are with these young girls, right? They'll stay for hours after the game signing autographs, taking photos. They have the best personalities, and just the excitement that you see every single day at the ballpark is really cool.
Yeah, I love a lot of what you brought up there, right? Just the accessibility, and you as a former Division I player, obviously when you were younger watching the sport, and now just to see for other young women the fact that they can reach out, touch these players, talk to them, be there at the ballpark is really good. And they can watch the game many places, and even seeing you help broadcast the game. So the growth is definitely beautiful right now in the sport. So just talking about the team, the Rise, they're going to compete at the Champion Cup, which will occur at the end of July. And this is their inaugural season in the league. What do you think about this Rise squad, and do they have a chance in your eyes to win it all?
Oh, absolutely, especially if they played the way that they played last night or in their second game against Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City has been around a little bit longer than the Rise, and they have some of the best players in the world, and the Rise had much of the same. They beat them in game 2. So I just think that, yes, they have so many fantastic players. Ashley Treeweiler is hitting .468. She's out of Grand Canyon. Yesterday, McKenna Smith was 3 for 3 with a home run and 6 RBIs. Yes, I did not get that number wrong. She had 6 RBIs in the Rise's game yesterday. And so offensively, they're finally starting to click. The lineup is moving from the top to the bottom. And then pitching-wise, they have a really great staff. Shanice Dels, Courtney Weish, Jalen Ford, they all bring a little bit of something different to the staff. There's some that can spin the ball a little bit. Courtney Weish throws so hard. If you ever have a chance to see her in person, that's something that you're going to want to be a part of, because I don't think I've ever seen somebody throw the ball as hard as Courtney Weish does. And so I think that they have the tools. It's all about putting them together at the right time, right? So they're starting to trail upwards. They won last night big, 11-1 against Chattanooga's team. And so I think that if they can carry that momentum into that final tournament, they give themselves a good chance.
All right, playing well right now, and as you said, they've been putting up some runs. The lineup is looking really strong as they move towards the end of the season. We'll see what they're able to do in that Champions Cup. Maria, we have seen recently incredible growth in women's sports in this country. How important is it for young female athletes to have professional teams like the New York Rise to look up to?
You know, I was talking about this to someone yesterday, and I was thinking about when I was younger, and there was some professional softball, right? We tried this so many different times. There's been a bunch of different leagues that have tried and then maybe didn't work out. You see so much growth with like Athletes Unlimited and the fantastic job that they've done. When I was younger, you just didn't really have the visibility of it, even if these leagues existed. I remember being so upset when they were going to take softball out of the Olympics because that was the one thing that I could see kind of beyond college. And so now, with women's sports being so accessible at the college level, at the professional level, I think it's just amazing because now you can actually see the people that you want to be like, and it shows you how you can get there. I think, a lot of people they don't really like social media, but I think that's helped too because even yesterday, I'll give you a quick story. There was a young softball team there, and so I was like, "Do you guys want to do a video with me? Like, we can make sure that we can see who you're cheering for, the Rise, the Steam, all that stuff." And they're like, "Is it gonna go on TikTok?" And I was like, "I'll put it on TikTok if you want." But they're seeing some of the good things that can come of women's sports on these different platforms, and I think that's helping grow the game.
Yeah, no, that's a really good story there, and the young people want to push that visibility themselves too. So that's really beautiful to see what's going on with the sport of softball with the New York Rise. And just to let people know, the Rise, they play their home games out at Hofstra on Long Island. If you want to go check them out, their games are broadcast on the Varsity Media Sports Network, which Maria does some color commentary, along with my guy John Perez. Got to give him a shout out there too on the play-by-play. Maria, I've loved looking at the Rise. The games look exciting. The team looks fun. I got to get out to a game. I've enjoyed watching you on the streams. And I just want to tell you, keep up the good work with the Rise and keep continuing to grow the sport of softball. We appreciate you. That is Maria Trivelpiece. Check her out on the Varsity Media Sports Network, calling the games. Maria, thank you. And we're going to talk some more Rise softball soon. We will do that.
Yes, absolutely, Dex. Thank you so much for having me. And get out to a game. And anybody watching, make sure you get out to a game or tune in.
Absolutely. Definitely do that. Thanks, Maria. Appreciate you.